Caroline Levitt had a bunch of questions to answer at a press briefing yesterday about many things. One of them wasn't necessarily the most common thing you may think reporters may be asking Caroline Levitt about, but I think it does show the way this administration works.
Andrew, go ahead.
So on Tuesday, the president told a very detailed story about his uncle, noted scientist John Trump, and Theodore Kaczynski, the late Unabomber. He said that Dr. Trump taught Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was not identified as the Unabomber until 1996, 11 years after John Trump passed away. It would have been impossible for John Trump to have ever discussed the Unabomber with the president. So what was he talking about? And I have one follow-up.
Andrew, with so many issues going on in the world, I'm a little bit surprised you would ask such a question, although I'm not sometimes coming from you, I will say, but I'm willing to give you an answer. Nevertheless, the president's uncle did, in fact, teach at MIT. He was a very intelligent professor. The president's very proud of his family. In fact, the president has a letter from his uncle on the MIT letterhead that sits in the Oval Office dining room. Maybe we'll let you see it sometime.
So when a question is asked about the lying capabilities of this president to lie about literally everything, with a detailed story about his uncle teaching the Unabomber at MIT, and then this reporter asks her why he's telling these stories that couldn't possibly have happened, because of course the Unabomber wasn't identified as the Unabomber until after Trump's uncle had passed away. So how did he know he was teaching the Unabomber when he was talking about all this stuff? Come on, bro. It's because he needs to pump himself up. So just by association, my uncle was very smart, taught at MIT, therefore I'm smart. You should listen to everything I say, despite how stupid I sound. In case you guys didn't see the story that he was telling, this is what that reporter was referring to.
I have to brag just for a second, because when I first heard about AI, it's not my thing. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever. He was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And then he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him.
Just a very deep, detailed story about his uncle talking specifically about this, which of course obviously has to be invented in his own mind in order to tell these types of stories. But Caroline Levitt can't just say, sometimes the president likes to tell tall tales because he's a storyteller. You could even try and make it some kind of like cozy old man likes to tell stories, so he embellishes sometimes, except, he always lies. It's just an indication. That's all. It's not a huge story. It's just an indication of the way this guy is and the fact that you literally can't believe him about anything, even things that don't make any difference like this, because it makes a difference to him. It's a constant building of his character as this superior human being that has family members that taught the Unabomber, because that's a fun layer to the story, so you can pay more attention to the fact that he's associated or related to an MIT professor.